Nearly a century ago, Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz began making the world's first cars. They formulated a principle that shaped Mercedes' philosophy: nothing but the best. Today, the challenge of making the best is greater than ever. (9:05). Apprentices at Daimler-Benz are testing their economy car. Testing the performance capabilities of a turbo diesel at Nardo in southern Italy. In Stuttgart, the Weber family have just arrived at the railway station on the way to pick up their new Mercedes in Sindelfingen. In Hamburg, a container truck loaded with perishable goods leaves its North Sea port. In Wörth, the morning shift is at work assembling trucks at workstations designed to make it easy to handle heavy components. All overhead work is eliminated by turning the chassis prior to final assembly. A range of 168 basic truck models available in 2,200 different versions. And every model is rigorously tested to achieve the highest possible standards of quality to ensure that the trucks operate economically and retain their value. In Untertürkheim, test vehicles are lapping the track. The creation of a new car requires years of intensive research and development. The 190 models added a third and completely new dimension to the range: Mercedes quality in compact form, paving the way for expansion into new markets worldwide. These compact models round off the Mercedes range, encompassing the mid-series saloons with a variety of options, and the S-Class, renowned for relaxed comfort on the longest journeys. This is one of the major Daimler-Benz dealerships in Asia. No fewer than 15,000 Mercedes cars are registered annually in Hong Kong and the new territories. The British Crown Colony is also the gateway to China. The Chinese border is only 80 kilometers away, and the market in the Celestial Empire has immense potential. 1 billion people are there waiting for motorization. 10 to 10. In Sindelfingen, customers are notified that the cars are ready to be collected. Those with time to spare, like the Weber family, can tour the factory. Mercedes cars are produced in an environment that guarantees top quality, state-of-the-art equipment and machinery, production control that eases the stress on people, carefully planned interaction between robots and the human beings who handle final assembly. Manual effort is reduced by the increasingly flexible equipment used for undersealing, for example, or for paint spraying. But here, too, man is still responsible for the final product. The Weber family is particularly impressed by the perfectionism of the production planning. This control station keeps the line supplied with the right parts for each car. A monumental task of clockwork precision that only a computerized system can master. About 30,000 different parts have to be marshaled for supply to the right car at the right time. This plant assembles 200 versions of 60 basic models with a number of engine variants. Quality controls are rigorous at each stage of the production process. Quality starts, in fact, at the technical design stage and is constantly monitored right through to practical tests on the final product. In the factory, finished cars are taken at random from the assembly line and put through extensive tests. To satisfy standards, they have to complete these successfully. Midday in Jeddah. This plant, under Saudi Arabian management, produces trucks. Some components, such as engines, are flown in from Germany. Annual output totals about 7,800 trucks. These are urgently required for the busy construction industry in Saudi Arabia. This construction site on the Red Sea is part of a large leisure centre development. At Daimler-Benz, there is a premium on reliability, environmental protection, resilience and long service life. Construction vehicles have to start easily, even in the coldest weather, so they're tested at sub-zero temperatures to make sure they do. To combat noise, tests are carried out in Europe's largest sound measuring chamber. The objective? To minimize the noise level of a bus engine. Off-road vehicles have to negotiate muddy tracks, so tests are conducted on a surface that simulates driving on trackless terrain. Water is supplied to the Sahel zone by tankers from Algeria. The company that makes these vehicles has to know the conditions they encounter. So a mobile laboratory is taken across the Sahara to measure the stresses and strains of the desert route. On a servo hydraulic test bench, test vehicles are exposed to the loads that occur in practical use. The findings show engineers, who work with state-of-the-art equipment, the requirements that need to be met in new designs. 10:30. Making the best means testing all the components of a product by the most effective methods. These methods include interference holography, using laser beams to detect even minute differences in pressure. Aiming for nothing but the best keeps Mercedes-Benz true to the traditions of Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz, and simultaneously in the forefront of technology. 1936, the first diesel car, a breakthrough in fuel economy and environmental protection. (1951), the safety cell. 1954, the first fuel injection engines. 1961, disc brakes. 1967, collapsible steering column. And on every new model, rigorous testing for passive safety. Development of protective airbag. Testing active safety. Tire slitting test on a bus. Even at high speed, the bus stays on course. Cornering stability, tested on a skid pad. Tail skid tests, electronically controlled and taking account of incalculable human reactions. Handling in unusual conditions. Finally, testing the anti-lock braking system that keeps the car on course however hard the driver slams on the brakes. 11:20. In the plant in Mettingen, engine parts are cast in light alloy, reducing the car's weight and lowering fuel consumption. Innovation at Mercedes-Benz means more than launching a completely new model from time to time. It involves a sense of social responsibility, working steadily on further refinements, ongoing developments and new technology. Daimler-Benz currently spends nearly 1 billion German marks a year on research and development. 10,000 people are engaged in making cars safer, more fuel efficient and better for the environment. Engines are tested on one of the most modern test benches in the world. For Daimler-Benz, the challenge of making cars sets exacting standards. The car as a whole has to be economical. Its design must feature engineering excellence, each part matched perfectly to the other. And the range must offer a variety of different models suited to individual customer requirements. Meeting these standards is the Mercedes goal. And today, this goal includes the development of alternative engines and fuels. Experimental cars with an electric motor, gas turbine, ethanol engine, methanol engine, hybrid methanol petrol drive unit, are all examples of research into future developments. Storing hydrogen in metal hydrides is another example. Hydrogen is used to charge metal hydride batteries, which provide fuel for the car engine. These are worthwhile experiments, even though an adequate substitute is still not in sight for diesel oil and petrol. Meanwhile, in Norway, parts of a dismantled truck are transported by cableway to a mountain construction site, where a power plant is being built under difficult conditions. After reassembly at the mountain site, Mercedes trucks are used for transporting the soil left over after excavation of a tunnel. On tree felling work in Zaire, Mercedes trucks transport heavy trunks across rough terrain to the Congo River. From here, they're floated downstream to the sea. One of the world's toughest rallies, from Paris to Dakar, Mercedes-Benz vehicles demonstrate their superiority. Jackie X, in a 280 GE, finishes a convincing winner after 10,000 grueling kilometers. First place in the truck class is taken easily by a 1936 AK. Midday. The Weber family take delivery of their car, their first Mercedes, and the chances are it won't be their last. Experience has shown that the long life and sustained value of Mercedes cars makes customers for life. About 90% remain loyal to the Mercedes marque. In Brühl, near Bonn, tests are being conducted on exhaust emissions. The exhaust emissions are evaluated electronically to prescribed specifications, in line with emission regulations in individual countries and confirmed in the delivery documents. The major car export market is the United States. All Mercedes cars are produced at assembly plants in Germany. Jacksonville is one of the main ports for cars arriving from Europe. On arrival, cars are taken into the Vehicle Preparation Center, where their exhaust emissions are checked before they're ready for delivery. Turbo diesels are generating an increasing share of car sales in the United States. Another example of market response to Mercedes' philosophy, offering innovations only when they are fully matured, so that customers don't become test drivers. In their exports too, Daimler-Benz offer a balanced range. The company has always avoided dependence on individual market sectors. 1:25. In Untertürkheim, Mercedes development engineers are using the finite element method to improve a detail in the design of a new bus.
Könnte man jetzt noch mal den Dehnungsverlauf am Knoten deutlicher erkennen?
Buses are produced at Mannheim. To achieve maximum flexibility, Daimler-Benz have always sought to decentralize parts manufacture and assembly work in a network of production plants. Besides producing 130 versions of buses, this facility is working on an array of innovations. Tests with electric buses designed to reduce pollution in city centers. Development of dual-mode buses in city centers powered by electricity from overhead lines and by diesel engines in outlying suburbs. Or buses that can switch to battery operation to protect the environment. Development also on complete transport systems like the O-Bahn system. Installation of guideways allows the use of buses on narrow roadways. With the guidance system, the bus stays on course with the driver's hands off the steering wheel. In Sindelfingen, the trainees have just ended their lunch break. Over the past few years, Daimler-Benz have steadily increased their number of apprenticeships and are currently preparing 8,500 young trainees for future careers in 34 engineering and technical trades and 10 commercial professions. Again, training is not just geared to teaching professional skills, but also to creating awareness of the standards that have earned Mercedes-Benz their reputation.
Das ist sichtbar, aber so 20 meinen Sie, ne?
Ja, doch, vorhin haben wir ja...
Here, too, excellence is the objective. Whether it's a training course on digitally controlled machine tools or a typewriting course.
Mit der Adresse 9 Felder, 30 Stellen. Unser allerneuester Hit heißt nicht mehr wie früher, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, sondern das sieht so aus.
Opportunities for ongoing training are also offered to personnel to help them update their skills. Language courses, for example. Or, on modern matter plan courses, teaching them to define, expound, and discuss problems as a means of finding a solution. 2:15, shift change. Employee identification with the company is exceptionally high. This also applies to foreign workers, who make up a good fifth of the workforce. The number of employee shareholders is steadily rising, and every third employee drives a Mercedes car. Social benefits are widely available and include an exemplary pension plan. Gathering data for the Trasco system, another form of Mercedes support for customers, helping haulage contractors, for example, to choose the right truck for their particular needs. All the information on road conditions, including hills, is stored in the system for future use.
Aufgrund der von Ihnen gemachten Angaben kommen unseres Erachtens zwei Fahrzeugvarianten in Betracht.
Later, when a customer buys a truck, his transport requirements on a particular route are compared with the stored data on one hand, and on the other with the capabilities of various trucks. The comparison shows which truck from the Mercedes range is most economical for the customer's needs. Mercedes-Benz support is wide and varied. It includes advice on which truck is best suited for a particular job. It encompasses profitability analyses and instruction in driving techniques in Wörth. Prior to taking over a Mercedes truck, drivers are trained carefully to show them the best way of driving a truck to retain its value and cut fuel consumption. Daimler-Benz buys components from about 30,000 sub-suppliers, keeping their businesses supplied with orders. Incoming supplies are subjected to rigorous quality checks. Purchases from outside suppliers account for 50% of the total value of production. That means more than 15 billion German marks. So naturally, they're tested to ensure they measure up to Mercedes standards. 330, the inventive flair of engineers and the creative designs of stylists have a crucial impact on the success of a new model. But Daimler-Benz have never been slaves to fashion. What counts is refined, practical engineering, functional efficiency, and aesthetic excellence. All these contribute towards the distinctive Mercedes style. The same philosophy dictates the approach to interior appointments and equipment. Gimmicks are out. The equipment needs to be practical, easy to see and use, relaxing for the driver. Efforts to enhance the car of today are accompanied by design research on the car of the future. The aim is to improve fuel efficiency and economy while retaining all the comfort and quality so typical of Mercedes-Benz. The future poses its challenges. Daimler-Benz are confident of mastering them. Another day of training at the Customer Support Centre in Brühl. Courses are run here for after-sales personnel from about 170 countries. Their skills and efficiency make a major contribution to the worldwide prestige and Mercedes-Benz products.
Die gesamte Luft wird zu den Düsen geführt, zu den Entfrosterdüsen und zu den Seitendüsen.
In Hong Kong, it's past midnight. The lights begin to dim. In Jeddah, dusk is falling. New York welcomes the early morning sun. Personnel at the Mercedes sales and service base in New Jersey are on their way to work. 5:30 p.m. In Sindelfingen, finished cars are leaving the factory. Nearly 50% of Mercedes cars and more than 60% of Mercedes trucks are exported to about 170 countries around the world. "6 p.m. The container transport that left Hamburg early this morning crawls into the service centre in Kassel. The truck is more than 20 years old. Although its engine is causing trouble, the perishable goods have to be in South Germany by midday tomorrow. The service centre can help. It telexes an urgent request to the parts depot in Wörth for a type of injection pump that's seldom in demand nowadays. The pump must be delivered during the night. 9 p.m. At Nardo in Italy, the turbo diesel has been lapping the track for 10 hours. A change of driver. The car has already broken 8 world speed and endurance records. Average speed over 300 kilometers an hour. "10 p.m. In Wörth, the injection pump leaves for Kassel, to arrive there by special transport before the service centre begins work in the morning. 6 a.m. A city awakens. Its life begins to throb. Thousands of people want transport, and so do tons of goods. The industrial society needs private transport. People in cities need protection against fire, rescue in emergencies. They want their city kept clean, their rubbish disposed of. They need supplies. Meeting these and countless other requirements keeps a community on the move. For all of them, Daimler-Benz has an answer. That too is social commitment. Meanwhile, the morning shift is at work at the Bremen Plant, which assembles cars in an integrated production operation with Sindelfingen. The first cars of the day have just come off the assembly line and are driven to the park prior to shipment. On the Hockenheim racing circuit, apprentices are trying out improvements to their economy car. In Kassel, the container transport leaves the service centre, continuing its journey south right on schedule following prompt delivery of the injection pump. At Nardo, the turbo diesel is well on the way to a 9th world record. In Untertürkheim, track testing is endless, on steep climbs, wading through water, negotiating torture tracks. The three-pointed star travels the world's roads. Wherever it goes, it carries the prestige of a company that sets top quality as its standard. But the challenge never ends. The challenge of thinking now about the car of tomorrow. The next generation of the next generation. The challenge of making nothing but the best has never been greater than it is today.